Alright, so continuing with our series on 133 and its underlying principles and how those underlying principles are universal. So it goes way beyond just this and this. Any kind of contact game, these principles are what you're going to use. Contact game being a game where someone's trying to make contact with you and or you're trying to make contact with them. So opposed to a struggle game, which is a game where we're wrestling around and we always have constant contact. That's one kind of game. Another kind of game we can play is a contact game. And 133 is all about the contact game. We're going to put Maya back in half shield. So here she's got that really solid position where it's hard for me to attack on top. I could attack on below, but that would be a bad idea for me. If you don't understand that, you can look at the earlier videos, talk a little bit about that. From here, the second she's in measure, meaning the second I know she can attack me, I need to begin to fall under my sword and shield to protect myself from what's coming from her, right? Now, why falling under is important is because the earlier rule we talked about, if she were to go for my legs from here, I can pull my body back and hit her head, right? So falling under is the idea. I don't want my shield and sword under me. I want to be under them. And that puts me in great position for her. So anything that comes on top, I can defend against naturally. Anything that came on bottom, I can attack and pull my legs out of the way. Now, after I do that, I should get some kind of bind like this. This bind begins to give me sensory contact with the sword, so I know a little more about what's going on because I have a tactile feel. And it also gives me a little bit of influence on her sword. Not a lot, but a little bit of influence. Of course, if she were to attack from here without doing anything, I should simply attack her. So what she wants to do is get a bind. She's going to get this bind. Now, if I don't act from here, I'm going to be way behind her. So I need to act at this point. From here, what she's going to do is get a shield strike, which is either going to collapse me, or I'm going to have to resist it, and we're going to end in some kind of wrestling, which I don't want to be in. So at this point, when she's overbound me here, I have a few choices. One is to change the sword. So I'm going to change the position of the sword from being on bottom to being on top. Now there's tons of ways to do that, right? So you can't really tell in the manuscript exactly what way they're saying to do that. But the idea is somehow I have to change this sword, you know? So it could be as rudimentary as that, not very fast, but could be as simple as this, right? So just bringing my sword over the top so I can get a counter bind. Now notice, I will now be in the same position she was in a second ago. So from here, now I can shield strike and attack if she collapses. Or if she were to resist that shield strike, I can wrap her sword up like this, right? So I'm in the same position that she was a second ago. So that was really fantastic for me. Another thing the book says we can do is tread through. Now this is really mysterious. There's only one picture in the rest of the manual that says what treading through is. Hold your sword and shield up like this, off to the side please. There. It looks basically like this. This is basically how the picture looks. So we don't really know what that means. We don't know, does it mean cut their arms? What does it mean? My inference from it is we're going to tread through, meaning I'm going to take a big step in. Now what doing a step in will do when we've got lever to lever, over by me please. What stepping through will do when we're lever to lever is it will take me from being in a weak position here, where notice the weaker part of my sword, that's this part, is against the stronger part of her sword. That's this part, right? So she's got a strong advantage. If I take a big step here, she'll no longer have that advantage because I put the stronger part of my sword against the weaker part of her sword. Now what does all that mean? So if she's holding her sword out like this, okay, I want you to resist me. I'm going to take my pinky. Don't let me push this down. I'm going to push her sword down. Okay, as hard as you can, all your muscle, all your force. I'm going to take my pinky. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my pinky again. I'm going to push right here, all your force. Now, it's my pinky that's bending, right? It's not hard for her still, but it's like I can't push it down here, but I can push it down there. It's a simple principle of leverage, right? The further you get away from this working end here, the weaker this is going to become. So if the sword was even longer, you know, if it was this long, she'd be even weaker. And that's because you're adding the weight of this lever and you're getting a mechanical advantage on this side that she doesn't have on that side. As I get closer here, she's going to be stronger on this side. It's much harder for me to push it down. So if we're looking at treading through as simply getting to a stronger position, bang, now I've got to that stronger position. If I allow my sword and buckler to turn as I do this, from this stronger position, I will again get that shield strike that can be followed up with a sword strike in here, right? So I get essentially the same technique I would have before, except I get it in a different way, and that's because she's too strong here. She's pushed me down, so I have to get a mechanical advantage. So if I step in there, bang, I have that mechanical advantage. My buckler hit her buckler, and here I'm coming through in really nice positions. Next on this, so I have three options. The book says that the priest has three options. One's to change the sword. So from here, she brings me down. I come over here. The other is to tread through. As she brings me down, I go here. And the last of these options is to try and wrap. So as she pushes me down, she comes in on me here a little bit, I can try and wrap her sword up like this, right? So that's what I'm looking for. I just let that come in. So as she pushes me down, I let my sword fall right over the top of her arms here. That puts my sword in good position. I can wrap her arm. Now this might not seem like a great position because my sword hand's all bound up here, but I still have a buckler here that's basically a big set of brass knuckles that I could bash her here with, I could bash her hands with, I can do whatever I want. I have a good moment here where she's in bad shape. Now of course she could drop her sword and shield and get out of there, but doing that will cost her. So we'll look at some more of this in the next set of videos. Stick around.